this in my plans. Battle the kid is white flags. Not on my level where I stand. Got it, I'm shooting a hot hand. Out of the gym, I was locked out. I failed, the kid was a dropout. I changed the game and it's up now. The city that need me is clear now. The people is giving the damage. The people is giving the...
Sandman, I can tap dance through the energy blast. Run flat, never pop your orbit. I keep energy in storage. I see spinning the globe, my fingertip itch. If I could pluck the earthquake hit. Look at the wrist, look at your body, I shake it and shift. Big fish in a small pond. Godzilla with a boot on. I step into your lawn. Turn skyscrapers into croutons. Hit the button going high speed. Need a megaphone to announce me. I move through the pygmies in the top pick. Gotta pick fleas. Sit back, better breathe deep. Look around and they looking at me. 10 toes still never defeat. Push button never needed a key. I see they ain't ready for me. Hot boy still 100 degrees. I cross eyes and I dotted the T's. E&D till I leave in peace.
The people is giving the damage. The people is giving the... The people is giving the damage. The people is giving the...
to you live on a chilly Sunday afternoon at Ohio Dominican University in Alumni Hall for a contest in the Battle of the 614 series between Westerville North and the Massillon Jackson Polar Bears. Stay with us for the pregame show coming up. I've got El Presidente of the OH Report himself in the booth with me, Brian Skowronski. Stay with us.
Coach B.
Hey, Travis, what's up?
Oh, not much. What's that sound?
Just working on some long overdue improvements here.
Whoa.
Fit for a Hall of Famer. Hi, I'm Joe Baylog. Tune into The Joe Show every Wednesday night here on the OH Report. First Federal Community Bank is excited to offer the Ohio Home Buyers Plus program, and it's meant to offer an above-market interest rate to help the potential home buyer in their journey towards home ownership.
We've got great rates, especially for first-time home buyers. Here at First Federal Community Bank, we are here to make the home buying experience smooth and stress-free.
As a community bank, we're excited to offer this account to help fulfill the dream of owning a home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Bryce Coder with the OH Report, and we are coming to you live from Alumni Hall at Ohio Dominican University down in Columbus for the Battle of the 614 in the Battle Series presented by Elevated Sports Events. I'm Bryce Coder on play-by-play, joined in the booth on color commentary, special guest Brian Skowronski making the trip all the way from Mansfield for this contest. How you doing, Brian?
It's a fabulous Sunday. Excellent basketball been showcased here the last couple of evenings and obviously throughout the day today. So really excited for this matchup. Two really high-scoring, high-octane teams. And what more could you ask here on a NFL Sunday in the postseason when a little bit of snow outside, but we're keeping it nice and hot here inside of the gym, Bryce.
Yeah, keep the football up on your screen. Get the OH Report on your iPad. Yeah, you got everything set up for you. Taking a look at our OH Report pregame show, let's take a look at our team spotlight for the Jackson Polar Bears. And so far on the season, pretty successful, 9-2 on the year, 6-1 in the conference. On the 11th, they lost to McKinley 87-78 on the 14th, turning it around 70-48, and on the 17th, picking up the victory against Hoover 69-61. And then taking a look at some of the key conference wins this season, some really big ones, and really pulling away from some of these teams as well. 20-point win against Uniontown Lake, that's who they're going to be playing next, and would expect to do the same.
2 wins already over Hoover, 2 within the league, and you look at the 2 losses that they have on the calendar, neither of them are that you would say would be a bad loss. McKinley still undefeated, they're 7-0, and then early on in the season, going to Hoban, they've got one of the better rosters constructed in the entire state. They've only lost 1 game all year, so this is a high energy team that we talked about how much they can score already, almost 73 points per game. Look for them to be in the 70s, I think, either winner here today.
We'll take a look at our player spotlight for the Polar Bears, and today it is Mitch Feinfrock, the 3-point threat with 15.2 points per game on the year, 51% from beyond the arc, and a season high of 24, coming all the way from Massillon, looking to make a huge impact tonight on the offensive front.
I mean, if you're going to shoot over half of them makes from long range, Bryce, you're going to have a really special season. So certainly that's what Mitch has been able to do so far. And you definitely want to try to find that guy if you're this team in Westerville North on defense, and make sure that you're getting out, closing out on him on the perimeter when you can.
Taking a look at the keys to victory for the Polar Bears, and they're going to need to emphasize that press break. It's a thing of beauty, the diamond trap that Westerville North is able to run, but if they could get out in front and get behind that defense, they could really be successful, and they're going to need to create space for shots. Westerville North is not going to give them an inch, utilizing the shot off of the dribble, moving the ball quickly around the perimeter with the skip pass. Really got to do something to challenge this defense.
You don't want to be rushed, but you got to be quick offensively when you're playing against this Warriors team, and just the 3 brothers, we're going to touch on one of them here in a second, how lethal they are on the perimeter in terms of just closing out, not giving you any space, having the quickness advantage. You want to make sure that you're crispy with your ball movement, take advantage when you've got some openings.
Taking a look at the team spotlight for the Westerville North Warriors. Only a short trip for them down here to Ohio Dominican University. On the 9th, they defeated Big Walnut with a running clock, 65-30. Against Worthington Kilbourne, trouncing there, 91-63. And against Dublin Scioto, another huge victory, 75-28. They've just been cruising all season long. The #1 team in Division II, according to Max Preps. They have 2 McDonald's All-American nominees, and stepbrothers Ty Perkins and Micah Young. You see there, Ty Perkins committed to the University of Akron and Micah to Concord. But so many weapons on this Westerville North squad.
And they're on an unbelievable run right now. This stretch, their best of the season, of course. It feels like they're climaxing mid-season form right now, 10 consecutive victories for them. And I'm sensing a trend, Bryce. They've just been trouncing the competition. So this is a step up in class here this afternoon against Jackson. But the way they're playing, they're certainly, I think, a favorite.
And moving on to our team spotlight for the Westerville North Warriors as they line up for the opening tip-off. It's Micah Young getting the nod here, 16.1 points per game, 2.6 steals per game, and 3 rebounds per game. And able to play the guard or the forward, can really flex it out in either direction that he needs to, but really rely on him for high-scoring numbers.
Yeah, he's a humble kid, and when you come from that background, that pedigree that he's got with the other 2 brothers in the house, you know the competition was at a premium coming up for them day in, day out, probably always getting involved in something, whether it be a game of Monopoly or getting outside in the backyard, shoot some free throws or some pig against one another. As there's a nice pass underneath, but a tough missed shot in tight.
Offline for Fedak. Fedak, I really love his ability to always be in the right place at the right time. As that one's poked out of bounds, Jackson will hold on to possession.
And I think what could really benefit the Polar Bears here this afternoon is to get out and get some quick baskets. Obviously, as much as they score, they're accustomed to getting off to some nice starts, as they'll get a clean look maybe here. But we talked about the closeout ability for the Warriors, not giving an inch.
Our player spotlight, Mitchell Feinfrock, offline with the 3-pointer. The no-look pass into Fedak. This time it's good.
Just silky from Tyson Perkins that time. The way that this youngster can maneuver with the basketball as we get another great pass and some free throws on the way here for Kyle Monterrubio. But just the quickness, the ability, we're only 52 seconds in. It's already been on display for the Warriors. Monterrubio, good-sized kid, 6'4", and he's an inside-outside type of threat. Nice high arcing shot there, left-handed, and always seems to be a little bit, that's kind of your silky peanut butter variety right there. It just looks smooth anytime you got that left-handed, boom, make.
Smooth with the free throw as well. We're all squared up with 7:07 remaining here in the first quarter. Already getting to work is Micah Young. He puts it on the ground, moving horizontally. They'll just send it back out to the perimeter.
All right, back to Papa, but out of bounds, they say the heel of Young over the boundary line.
So a turnover early on will give possession back to Massillon. I think with all the three-point lines, it can be kind of deceptive about where you need to be on the court. And in that situation, he just had his heels on the back of the line.
So typically when you have these type of battle series games when you're at the college environment, you're going to see a little bit deeper threes because of that, Bryce, and I don't think it's a bad thing. These kids, they've grown up with that being the focal point of the offense now these days, so shouldn't be a problem to step out a foot or two extra.
Really able to shoot the ball well. Everybody, it seems like nowadays, they work it down low. Something different, though, is yesterday I saw people with some really long threes, not aware where they were on the court putting it up.
Kind of the case there for Caden Loy. Back the other way. Things opened up for Perkins. He got to the rack. Another misfire in tight.
And Baker thinks he got fouled. The referee says no. Now they got numbers on the spin move. It got loose.
A little bit sloppy here in the early portion. Both of these teams needing to settle in. Not accustomed to playing here, obviously, on God's Day on a Sunday. This is out of the ordinary for these high school basketball players. So you probably give them a couple of minutes here to really start getting into the flow, because something about that circadian rhythm when you're a high school basketball player, specifically for the boys, the Fridays and Saturdays, your body just seems to wake up ready for competition. Sundays is typically a day of rest, Bryce.
And interesting as well, I mean, we saw a lot of teams yesterday that were playing on about 14 hours of rest, playing the night before and then coming into the showcase. That was a major point of conversation between Greg Collins' eyes, how you kind of manage that situation with energy levels playing a conference team versus the non-conference team in those situations.
Nice ball movement right here. That's the best look we've seen either side. Weekly got to capitalize on those. I'm sure he'd want that shot back.
Tyson Perkins with the spin move, works it inside, gets rid of it late in the jump, but can't get the basket to go.
Just a foul here on the reach in. I think both sides are doing an excellent job when there's been penetration in the lane, not fouling, walling up, getting tall, sprawling out here, Bryce. And 4 total points here, 3 minutes into the game. I did not anticipate this between two teams that combined an average of about 150 per contest.
Yeah. Definitely very offensive forward teams, but it's been a defensive slugfest here with 5:18 remaining in the first quarter. Micah Young, the tough defense, working it around. Now this time they find Loy. At the top of the key, Weekly from the wing, it's good, and Jackson takes control of this one.
The extra pass, beautiful basketball. One more, gets a good look to a great look. Able to knock that down, bury it from long range. Good sign here for the Polar Bears. And also a good sign here back the other way. Ty Perkins, this kid lives in attack mode. He's got about 2 gears. One's third, the other one is full throttle. So it's just tough to kind of slow him down throughout the course of an afternoon.
And he's so dangerous from many different levels. He can shoot the mid-range ball, he can shoot the 3 ball, but where he really excels is getting to the free throw line and even converting and one opportunities. He is strong enough to be able to get the ball up through that contact.
And a guy like him, just got to see it go through the rim one time.
There it is. 2 points separate the two teams. And they're facing the press. Looks like this time, oh no, they will go with the zone press. And that's that trap we were talking about, and throws it away almost immediately. A bad pass from Fedak, but Ty Perkins saves it. Tony Cornett off the glass, and we're square to get away once again.
Such unselfish play by all these guards. The three brothers in particular, they're always looking. Sharing is caring. Nice delivery on target. Easy setup for the big fella. And just his size in there, he brings a presence with him. Bryce didn't get a piece of that basketball, but it forced a tough shot as we'll get a timeout here taken by Jackson. Baker with a miss at one end. You can't miss those tight ones. You want to know why? Because of how quickly the transition game gets in a flow for Westerville North. Perfect display right there of how a missed opportunity for two inside leads to a couple back the other way.
Doing a great job of just using the body to protect the basketball from the defender. Such an athletic move to get it up against the glass with the underhand shot. Not taking much time at all on the timeout, likely just trying to break up a little bit of the momentum that Westerville North has built up.
And never mind an early timeout. You get 5 of them. They never go away. They don't evaporate for you. If you see something to talk over with your kids, I don't think there's ever a time too early in a game. Matter of fact, I was at one a few weeks ago where the Galleon Tigers called a timeout, and it was like 12 seconds into the game, they pulled out all starting 5. They had seen enough already, made them sit for about 4 minutes. They came back in, they were salivating, they were hungry to play again, turned the entire night around.
Love those mental tactics that coaches have to get their players back into the game in tough situations. Now into the corner, Loy tries it on a hesitant shot, and it's good from the corner. Waited for the defender to contest him and put it in his eye.
That was a tough angle right there, a little bit behind the backboard, but you could tell that he's practiced that one. He had just enough touch to get over the top as that one slapped out of bounds by Weekly. Read this one beautifully. Pow.
Cameron Weekly, the 6'2 senior, another contender for a player spotlight, also up there in the over 15 points per game range. Another 3-point threat for the Polar Bears. Now Ty Perkins, a tough shot, can't get it away as it was contested. And they will call a foul, not the jump ball.
Yeah, gonna be the 3rd foul here against Westerville North. Only 1 right now for Jackson, so neither team inching too close to the bonus just yet.
Weekly takes the ball up the floor, having to earn every inch. Work it around. Feel the motion down low, and they end up finding him on the lob. A couple of pump fakes, and that's good for 2.
Yeah, great patience by Till inside right there. 2, 3 fakes is what he needed to finally get everybody up off the floor to where it was more of a simple lay-in basket, left-handed finish. Pretty stuff.
Perkins guarded closely, gets some space off of the screen, but no luck this time either. Micah Young makes an extra pass to Tony Cornett into the lane. A shifty move for him.
One of the only sophomores on the varsity roster. You see, he's smooth too, Bryce. He's got those nice daddy long legs when he goes down the lane. Just takes a couple steps to get all the way to Rack City.
Able to get within 10 feet, but send it back out behind the 3-point line. Micah Young shading him to his right. Pokes that one out. And another 3-ball try from Feinfrock. No good. Offensive rebound. That one is good.
More quality work inside. 6'4". Kyle using that big frame to quality use. And the Polar Bears, the points in the paint right now really favoring them.
Fedak thinks about the 3, but sends it around as they set up the offense. Perkins jumps into a shot, too hard off the side iron.
That's a good look for Ty. Oh, better look inside, but the transition defense and a second block shot, one after another.
Taking that missed shot personally, they got back just in time. Tony Cornett now has it on the wing. Cornett for 3, and it's good.
And when you've got the 4 staples out there doing their roles, and then Cornett can get the good mismatch, which he does right now, you can tell he's got the confidence to exploit it, Bryce.
Trapped underneath, able to force the turnover. Cornett with the steal. Now Ty Perkins, the no-look pass. That one beautiful.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
And Tyson just a little bit extra hang time right there. Needed about 3 seconds. Hold that post, and it works out.
One of the better assists that you'll see, as well as Thiel fighting back against the quick basket.
This is a bit more the pace and overall the activity that I thought we'd get. 28 points on both sides combined now. Look forward to more of this as the night rolls on.
And with 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter, it looks like they're going to pull it out. It doesn't look like they'll be pressured from the Polar Bears. All right, now getting a little closer to arm's length. The referee hasn't signaled. Closely guarded, now he does.
And these situations really favor Westerville North with all the ball handlers they have and certainly the speed.
Oh, thrown out of bounds, so the Polar Bears will take over with 5.3. And a whole host of Warriors checking in for the last few seconds. But I do think you're right, that is a situation that they excel really well in, is holding for the last shot. They're such a momentum and spark-based team where once they really start getting going, they're moving well and trying to carry that momentum from the first quarter into the second by establishing a lead. But here they just force a 5 seconds.
What better way to really get a spark going and create a fire than on the defensive side of things. That really gets you boosted up. And these 5 that are on the floor, they thought they were coming in just for the defensive possession. Now they get a chance to shine out here on offense.
And they find Micah Young in the corner with 3 seconds left, just makes contact with the backboard. So after 1 quarter of play, we are all tied at 14 here at Alumni Hall at Ohio Dominican University. Stay with us for second quarter action coming up next.
First Federal Community Bank is excited to be entering its second year of media sponsorship for local nonprofits.
We've partnered with Crawford County Now to offer nonprofits a podcast and a radio spot.
First Federal Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Bryce Coder and Brian Skowronski with the OH Report here for second quarter action at Alumni Hall of Ohio Dominican University. Historic gym starting the second quarter, all tied up at 14 between Westerville North and Massillon Jackson Polar Bears. Nice little fadeaway shot from Baker is no good. So pushing the floor as Micah Young isolates the defender offline with the layup.
We've seen a couple of misses so far here early on for the Warriors that typically in games past that we've covered, they're making these, but this is where they really make their hay. Here's McCree end to end.
Oh, not able to convert either this time, but Micah Young cleaning up on the offensive rebound.
Yeah, at his size, he's an excellent offensive rebounder, getting in there, creating some second chance points for the Warriors, just cleaning up the mess. But it leads to a 3 this side. Still waiting for this kid to heat up. Mitchell's been a little bit cold. Don't think he's knocked down a shot just yet, but that'll help. Clean look, and Caden Loy comes through.
Back and forth they go, 17-16 with 1 minute through the second quarter. Slowing things down a little bit, looking for their shot. They find a good one. Damian King, it bounces high off the back iron and into the hands of a Polar Bear.
Been good back and forth action. Each of these teams have had their moments. Neither's been able to create any type of separation yet on the scoreboard. And these usually make for fun games. It seems like pretty evenly matched out here, 2 different style strategies, but the second 5-second call we've had, one on the inbound, now out here on the ball handler. it's just special when you have that type of athlete that can clamp down like that, Bryce, defensively.
It's what they're so good at. It seems like when they're guarded so closely, the defenders are so good at harassing the ball handler. Like their mind melts in that situation.
The only place in life where harassment really, it pays off. Yeah, it really works for you. It's a benefit, Bryce. Harass your friends out there on the court.
The 3 ball, and it's good for McCree, giving them the 2-point lead, and a timeout is called.
Yeah, second burn by Jackson here. Be just a 30-second TO. Warriors, that can make them such a devastating team when they're burying long-range shots. Like, good night. You're not necessarily going to have a chance. You got to hope that they so far have done where they've left a few scraps on the table, missed in tight, try to force them off that 3-point line. I think for the most part, Jackson's done a reasonable job on the defensive end handling things, but so many weapons, and for both of these offenses, Bryce, it's been discussed already, but when you're as high scoring and potent as they are, you never are going to take anything fully away. Just hope to slow it down more often than not.
Definitely, and I think as a show of respect to just how quickly the Warriors can pop off, and both timeouts that they've called, the teams have only been separated by 2 points, not letting Westerville North establish a really dominant run.
Yeah, the whole molehill to a mountain type of thing.
Yeah.
You know, alleviate the problem when it's just a small problem, but starting to become a big problem here. As the Warriors get 2 out of it, the theft, the nice dish inside. Ronald Jackson, the senior, gets his first 2.
Points off of turnover, a familiar spot for Westerville North to be in all season long. Now, Feinfrock just barely gets it off. And a travels call, another turnover. The pressure getting to the Polar Bears a little bit.
This is the Warriors' pace right now, too. The way that Jackson's having to move the ball around offensively. When they're kind of set and they're doing those extra passes, Bryce, it looks fine. When they're really trying to move with the basketball off the dribble, you see Westerville North got a bit of an advantage defensively.
And I think these extra passes, sometimes they're not necessarily the best extra passes. They put them in situations where they give the defense the opportunity to react when really they could just be taking it up for contact. And if they don't make it, at least they're getting 2 shots out of it. McCree, a little bit of a heat check.
Yeah, long rebound, that jumper off target 2. And strong board inside here from Mitchell.
Into the hands of Young, another turnover, takes it up strong with the left hand, but a little bit too strong. Deflection.
We've had 5 Polar Bear turnovers in the second quarter already, Bryce. So they're getting a little bit sloppy with the basketball, and it's the defensive pressure that's making it happen. So it's not on their own accord, just really being sped up.
I mean, you can see the pressure applied even from the Warriors bench there.
But that's what you have to do. If you're going to keep attacking in the manner that you have, every now and again, it's got to break down, and you got to capitalize like Weekly was able to do there, getting to his left. But about 5 seconds later, bet it right back from McCree.
McCree, the 5'11" junior guard, making a spark here as 4 points separate the 2 teams.
Yeah, you don't want to look at possessions as being big, really, necessarily this time of game just yet. But for Jackson, I think getting another match here kind of cools things off a little bit and at least mentally lets you know, okay, we can keep up with these guys continuous. This is what you need to avoid. More disaster. Bodies getting down on the floor with McCree with the steal, and it's easy change the other way with Jackson getting the friendly ROP.
Ronald Jackson quick up the court. And now face guarding the ball handler. And they say that's just out of bounds. Look at the whole sequence.
Yeah, I think pretty fortunate Cole Baker here not to get the offensive foul. He did himself a good service by not extending that elbow, but certainly the contact was submitted by him.
But they'll get another chance all the same. 3:14 remaining in the second quarter.
Largest deficit either side too right now, 6 points. So like I mentioned about the last possession for the Polar Bears, this one, I think it becomes even more imperative. Try to get some points.
I think so. As they cross the 3-minute threshold, they talk a lot about it in football, the middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the second quarter and the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. I think it applies to kind of like the middle six here in basketball as we get into that territory now.
It's a gorgeous entry pass inside there. Monterrubio capping it off. Good possession that time by the Polar Bears in the answer.
Move it around. Medhane finds Tyson Perkins. Back to Medhane. Medhane gets his own miss. McCree tries again. It's been hot tonight, not this time.
This kid's got to heat up for Jackson right now. That's a big shot right there. Feinfrock, he's been working for it. He's had a couple of clean looks, and sometimes, like I mentioned with Ty Perkins, all it takes is just get that one, and all of a sudden, the rim looks a little bit bigger.
Right on cue for them as they needed that shot in a big way. Damian King with the strong left hand. It's no good. It's into the feet of a Polar Bear with numbers 2-on-1. Medhane, what a grab there.
Yeah, that was an athletic move right there to come away with that theft and initiate the break instantly. That's what they do. They are the microwave defense to offense transition team where it heats up instantly. No extra dribbles. The passes are usually completed on the money, and everybody on this team, they've got a good feel for one another, Bryce. This squad over the last couple of years, they've had some excellent seasons, and they had kids that are now seniors getting some time when they were some youngsters, like you're seeing with Tyson Perkins getting into the mix along with King and company. So it's kind of bubbled up to this point to where you mentioned number one right now. They feel like in Division II, Martin RPI has them sitting at the same spot, and in the entire state of Ohio, out of all the teams, including the D1s, Max Preps feels like this is the fourth most dangerous team in the Buckeye State.
Wow. High honors and a lot of anticipation for the remainder of this season.
Polar Bears, too, were in the top 32. I think they were sitting there at like 32nd. So this is just a quality basketball game. That's why, even with all the punches that have been thrown here, the Polar Bears have been able to find some counter strikes.
Facing the pressure once again. Guarded by Tyson Perkins across midcourt. Pressure there, stepping into a three-pointer. This one too much as his momentum carried him forward. Fedak in rhythm for three. Rims out, and a good pass up the floor. A try at the block. I think, yeah, the visiting side wants a goaltend. I do think that's the correct call.
Yeah, I would support that. That was a big smack on the backboard by Perkins, and it's a backbreaker because the other way, the three ball, Cornette's open. Yeah.
From one end where they thought they should have got points, they concede a quick basket. They try to get it back here, looking baseline, guarded by Fedak. And a jump ball is called. An interesting call, as I don't think Westerville North really had possession. Take another look at that one. Oh, maybe he did.
Yeah, it looked like he had a nice palm on top of that basketball, so you got to make a determination one way or the other. Jump seems like the fair call, and nice stretch right here for Tony Cornette, and he's looked solid so far in this first half.
And an offline pass leads to a dunk. Monterrubio gets up.
I think that's the first time that we've seen here this afternoon that the defense leads to a fast break the other way here for the Polar Bears. So giving the Warriors a taste of their own medicine.
Looking to carry that spark into the locker room. Westerville North will pull it out likely for the last shot. They picked him up and guarded him and forced a turnover last time.
Oh, and nice hands too.
Almost do it again. And Ty Perkins dribbles it off his knee. He's frustrated with that call, but I think that's the right one.
Yeah, you got to reward the Polar Bears that time for that possession. See if they can get some points. Not good.
And shot not going to count anyway, so after 2 quarters of play, it's halftime. The Warriors leading this one 30-26 over the Massillon Jackson Polar Bears. Stay with us for third quarter action coming up next.
Coach B.
Hey, Travis, what's up?
Oh, not much. What's that sound?
Just working on some long overdue improvements here.
Whoa.
Fit for a Hall of Famer. Hi, I'm Joe Baylog. Tune into The Joe Show every Wednesday night here on the OH Report.
First Federal Community Bank is excited to offer the Ohio Home Buyers Plus program, and it's meant to offer an above-market interest rate to help the potential home buyer in their journey towards home ownership.
We've got great rates, especially for first-time home buyers. Here at First Federal Community Bank, we are here to make the home buying experience smooth and stress-free.
As a community bank, we're excited to offer this account to help fulfill the dream of owning a home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Bryce Critter with the OH Report here with the OH Report halftime show at Ohio Dominican University at Alumni Hall for the Battle of the 614 showcase. Westerville North Warriors leading this one 30-26 over the Massillon Jackson Polar Bears, and going back and forth, a really competitive contest so far.
It's been fun. The Warriors led by as many as 6. That's been the biggest margin that we've seen produced by either team, and a little bit of run this way, the other way as well. So the seesaw battle, it's been evident. These are two really quality teams going head to head, and that's why we've got a tight game here, Bryce, 16 minutes in.
Take a look at our halftime stats through 2 quarters of play for Massillon Jackson. 6 field goals, 4 three-pointers, 12 rebounds, 2 of them offensive, 12 turnovers, 4 fouls, and 2 for 2 from the charity stripe. For the Warriors, 9 field goals, 3 three-pointers, 13 rebounds, and 5 of them offensive, 5 turnovers, 6 fouls, and 3 for 4 from the free throw line. And kind of a different style of different style of offense for both teams. It seems like Polar Bears and Massillon Jackson really working through that post down low and utilizing the pass, but for Westerville North, it's what we're used to, that transition style. Especially in the first half, it wasn't falling as much as I think they would have liked it to, but in the second half, definitely going to be a point of emphasis.
Yeah, certainly. When you look at the makeup of both of these two teams and the personnel that you have, up and down the floor is going to benefit Westerville North. It doesn't matter who the opponent is. That's just the type of cast that they have out here. They can get up and down the floor. Everybody can handle the basketball, and then the passing, it's fluid. They're getting good licks because of the no-looks and the different abilities off of the bounce. Great point for you at the other end. If you can work it down to the block, they've had their best success inside, outside, doing lobs over the top. They've got a mini size advantage in there. Certainly when Teal's on the floor at 6'7", he's got a couple inches over the next competitor that's trying to guard him up. So for Jackson, doing a nice job. I think some of those 5 offensive rebounds that North was able to collect, it was just a little bit of a hard carom off of the rim off a three-point shot, and it's a bit unlucky because I thought there were a couple nice blockouts from Jackson's end that they didn't secure a defensive rebound. Got 14 of them in total here. So I think that both sides are doing what they need to do. Who can capitalize and execute at a little bit higher level, and then always the run, the stampede, Bryce. If you can throw a little mini avalanche on top of your opponent. There was a great game that I used to like to play back in the day on PlayStation 2 called Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. I'm sure nobody else has ever heard of it, but that's what it was. It was like Tetris. Whenever you would blow up your side, it would drop some on the opponent's side. I feel like when you can do that to your opponents in like a 6 or an 8-point run, it really can have a big consequence. Of course, haven't had that really on either side here, and that's why it's been a really fun game, and looking forward to more of the same here in the second half.
I am as well, and looking as well at the scoring, I mean, pretty evenly distributed amongst everyone. Elijah McCree with 7, Tony Cornett leading the Warriors with 8, Micah Young with 4, and the Perkins brothers each with 2. On the other side of things for Jackson, Kyle Monterrubio leading the way with 8 points, and Caden Loy with 6.
Yeah, our player spotlight, only a couple baskets so far for Jackson. So Mitchell Feinfrock, a guy that they've been relying on for his scoring so far. They haven't really been able to get him deep into his bag. We'll see if things start to heat up a bit for him in the second half. Polar Bear starting with the basketball.
See if they make adjustments or if it's more the same. 5 separated them at most in the last half.
And with Ty Perkins on you, that it's going to be tough to go and get your points. So for Feinfrock, any little sliver or window that you get, you just got to have the confidence to know that your ability is good enough to go get it.
Working it around again weakly, back up to the top of the key to Monterrubio.
Long possession here for the Bears. Obviously 45 seconds coming off the clock, and they'll get the tie-up jump ball.
Possession arrow goes to Westerville North. So they'll take over after the jump ball down low, and that's the second time they've forced that same scenario.
Just the recovery speed from the Warriors on that last possession that made all the difference, as Perkins is a little short, and the Bears looking to get out and run here. Feinfrock had it poked away.
Cornett with 7 points on the night, just Euros into the rim, but can't find the bottom of the basket. That one a heartbreaker for him. And a 3-ball from Feinfrock is good.
And what does that is 3 guys for the Warriors, all pressing on one individual for the Polar Bears. Leaves their best shooter open from the wing. Over 50%, Bryce, come on. That's close to a layup for him.
As close as a sure thing as you can get in basketball. Tyson Perkins is hitting the deck, but they say possession goes to the Polar Bears. We'll take another look at that one, and reaching over the shoulder. Who's to say whether there was contact or not, but he definitely poked the ball out.
I think the fact that he didn't swipe down, he got to the basketball and just kind of left it right there, Bryce. So gorgeous defensive possession right there, creating a turnover.
Weekly trying to find room inside, looking to the block to Monterrubio. Monterrubio from an NBA 3-point. Tyson Perkins with the right hand off the glass. Still a 1-possession game, but creating a little bit of separation between the two. Feinfrock heating up, not good on the 3-pointer this time.
Look at this tempo and this pace right now as Perkins misfires that time as well.
At the free throw line, that's where they're really trying to operate a lot of that offense. Just maximizing the opportunity for the ball handler there. He can go any direction he'd like.
Just smart offense that time too. Monterrubio, mouse in the house, they call that. 5'8" Perkins on him. Got to just lob it into the big fella, try to have him go to work.
Monterrubio, they work it inside, just threading the needle on the pass. Ty Perkins picks up the rebound and with pace attacks the rim. Starting to pull away a little bit. 5 points between the two teams.
I haven't seen Ty Perkins be able to execute that as often as he typically does. So for Westerville North, good sign for him. Confidence level rising as he's able to get on the attack.
Looking baseline, that's the only space they'll give him. And a spot up mid-range jumper. Loy is offline. No look pass to Fedak for the assist.
Boy, he runs the floor super smooth, filling his lane, but another crispy pass in transition. Westerville North, every guy out here for them when they're getting up and down on the break, Bryce. They've got the ability to draw on the defender and know when it's time to give it up. Thing of beauty right there, and that's why they lead by 7.
I always say it, Nolan Fedak always seems to be in the right place at the right time. A real hustle player, and seems like every time the Warriors get into possession or get into trouble on a possession, he's always down low with his hands open to take the ball to put it up against the glass.
Yeah, him, Young, and Perkins been playing a lot of basketball together. They're probably their entire lives, but certainly here at the high school ranks the last several years, and a lot of quality competitions and runs up and down the floor, and it shows. I mean, when you play that many minutes with another person, you just understand their tendencies, and then you start working off of them, where your chemistry, it just builds over time, and that's why this is one of the top teams in the state of Ohio, if not the best.
Very few fouls called so far in the game in this quarter. It's only been 1 called, and that one against Westerville North. But I think, you know, sometimes when the referees let the players play, it can get a little bit chippy, but I think both teams doing a really good job of recognizing that contact is going to be a part of the game with the way the referees are calling it and just taking it all in stride, not getting frustrated. Monterrubio falling away. It's no good. Cornett setting up the offense in transition. They'll just pull it back out. Micah Young looking baseline, just going back and forth along the baseline. Micah Young looking for space, and what a play for him underneath the basket.
Scoop, there it is. Left hand, gorgeous finish. And Polar Bears, they're starting to fly into the danger zone right now. Everything's been kind of one-on-one here on their offensive possessions. get bailed out. A couple free throws coming up, aggressive move inside, but they're really relying on Monterrubio to try to create something right now. Hopefully, for their sake, he can cap off with a couple free throws.
And they will really start to need these as the Warriors begin to pull away more and more. 9 points is the most they've had as a lead so far. And they'll cut it to 8 with that free throw. Cornette and Fedak checking off the floor. Recognizing the situation, the Warriors don't necessarily have the size to match up against what Jackson has. I think they've tried to address that by subbing in Tony Cornette at 6'3" and Damian King also at 6'3". You don't really have much. Fedak is 6'5". He's seen a lot of minutes as well, but a lot of size on Jackson.
And offensively, it's a different looking roster for Westerville North when those couple of subs check out. Nice move inside for the sophomore. Tyson's going to shoot a pair at the free throw line. But for Jackson, these are the type of stretches that you need to capitalize on and chip away a little bit with a couple of the seniors over on the sideline.
Hustle and energy have earned the Polar Bears a 9-2 record thus far. We'll see if they're able to pull through here at the halfway mark in the third quarter. Facing the press once again. You can see it there. They allow the initial inbound, but the pressure they apply from that just overwhelming. Looking for some room. Weekly finds a receiver. Isolating Monterrubio down on the block, but travels to lead to the turnover. Definitely a carry there. It looked like he was planning on going left, realized that he was cut off, and just started pursuing the baseline.
And also, Till's got to help him out a little bit. He flashed and showed that he was going to at least try to create some contact there with the defender, Perkins, and then ended up not creating any contact. So just not a good possession there for the Polar Bears, who give it away, and that's turnover number 16, Bryce.
Wow. They will need to clean it up if they want to mount a comeback here at Alumni Hall of Ohio Dominican University.
Yeah, cool setting. It feels like you're going back in time a little bit. Obviously, the modern amenities, but as you mentioned, there's been a lot of big games played here. You know, Division II's hosted some national championships here. I covered one several years back for Ashland University when the women won the whole thing. So there's just been plenty of great basketball, and I feel like Structures just kind of, they hold a little bit of personality, and this one's certainly very charismatic gym.
And a gym that Westerville North is familiar with as well. They played here in the Elite Eight of the OHSAA tournament last year.
And a lot higher expectations for them with the expanded divisions.
Yeah.
Falling down to Division II. Chance for them to be one of the bigger schools and go flex out there.
Yeah, dropping down to Division II, I feel sorry for a lot of the other Division II teams that they have to play against, because they are definitely top-tier talent.
And this right here is the best showcase, folks. When you see him in the half court man-to-man, obviously that diamond press full court gets you sped up, creates a lot of havoc, but they're just so good out there on the ball on the perimeter. Bryce, as McCree just forces the miss dribble, and it'll be out of bounds here. Giveaway from Kyle Monterrubio. Pressure burst pipes, and they are consistently applying quite a bit of it.
Polar Bears looking for somebody else to get hot. It has been Monterrubio that's been the answers to the tough Warriors defense so far, but looks like they've plugged that leak. Flashy try at the rim is off the line. Now pacing the floor, thinks about the three-pointer.
Yeah, I'd like to see that shot go up too for Baker in transition. You've got guys in a spot for an offensive rebound.
Micah Young trying to scrape heads-up defensive play, but couldn't get there in time. The shot bounces off the rim and into the hands of a Warrior. They call that foul on the floor.
It's just Micah Young being able to just bound with the basketball, get it up and down the floor efficiently. super effective driving with either hand.
1:17 remaining here in the third quarter. 2 team fouls for Jackson, 3 for Westerville North.
And it doesn't feel like the Warriors are playing great on the offensive side of things yet. They lead it by 9, but it's shots like that that kind of goes both ways. You would expect to finish for Westerville North. At the same time, solid defense by the Polar Bears by just walling up and making it difficult.
Looking for some space. Weekly with a tough shot over top.
But that's in his game. That's his range right there. He's getting just outside of the painted area. Pull-up jumper. Appreciate that play a lot.
Now slowing it down. We've seen it in the past 2 quarters where they hold for the last shot, but in both scenarios it's led to a turnover.
And Westerville North just sitting back with the basketball in their hands. It can't be comfortable.
Yeah.
It's like hot potato with them. You see how they construct things offensively. So holding for 20 seconds before you get that shot, it's going to work out this time, but that's not normally in their wheelhouse.
Well, even beyond the shot, the passes as well. It's so hard for them to pass up some of those good looks as Micah Young heats up. And a 3-ball try. They do get it off, but no good on the shot. So 3 quarters of play are in the books. Westerville North leading this one 42-33. Stay with us for the conclusion of this ball game. Coming up next.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
Fourth quarter action here at Alumni Hall at Ohio Dominican University. And a battle between the 2 regions as the Massillon Jackson Polar Bears are trailing the Westerville North Warriors 33-42.
Tough shot. Solid defense to the last moment there. Jacob, I think, did catch him on the extended arm with the shot. And you can tell right now, Cameron Weekly's, he's trying to get his, and he senses that his aggression levels need to rise here a little bit. Hasn't been the best night for Fine Frock. He's only got 6 points, comes in as their scoring leader. Second half, no points here for Monterrubio after leading the whole pack with 8 there in the first half. So Jackson just haven't been able to establish anybody for an extended duration of time that's been the go-to presence on offense.
Okay, yeah, that's right. They gave the points to the wrong team. So
should be 35-42.
Okay, perfect. So all corrected in the fourth quarter.
We'd like to call it money time here on the OH Report, Bryce. So always seems like these final 8 minutes just hold a little bit more gravity than the others.
Micah Young offline on the mid-range jumper.
And I think for both offenses that there's been a little bit of frustration. Westerville North averages over 74 a game, almost 73 average for Jackson. So each of them have gotten looks that they've liked, and they feel like consistently they're making more often than not. Just hasn't been the case here today as the Bears burn their 3rd timeout. I believe this will be a full timeout.
And it looks like in response, the Westerville North Warriors have responded by really allocating a lot of resources to Kyle Monterrubio, who was their leading scorer, and it's worked so far in the second half. And that really means that another one of these guys, whether it's Weekly or Feinfrock, they really have to get something going if they want to stay competitive in this one.
Yeah, I think so. They checked in Till for a little while, and they were trying to dump it down to him and see if he could utilize that superior size advantage. And just hasn't been the case because of the quickness of Westerville North. Even though you're towering over some of these kids, just the quickness that both the Perkins and Young and certainly McCree out there and Cornett, I mean, pretty much everybody out there, they're working with that fast twitch type of movement, and it can eliminate a lot of those factors that you might have when you have a size advantage.
And now Teal tries to work it inside. They say that Ty Perkins fouled him on the entry pass, and definitely a lot of contact there. Second team foul for Westerville North so far in the quarter.
Yeah, it could become a factor here if the Polar Bears continue to be ultra aggressive on offense and get their third here relatively quickly.
Monterrubio, the pump fake, takes it up with the left hand. He thought he was fouled, but they're continuing to let him play. Micah Young dishes it out. Jacob Medhane off the right iron. And now Micah Young starting to take over this one.
That's just a great rebound, too, from Damian King, keeping that whole thing alive. As the loose changes on the ground, Warriors pick it up. They've got a 4-on-2. Perkins got free throws in his future. And probably a solid foul here if you're Jackson. You'll want them to earn it when you've got four of them running downhill like this at you.
So many options, and I do think collapsing was the right idea, but easily a three-point shooter there. I mean, just guys everywhere. You had so many options.
Haven't seen a double-figure lead yet for North. And now they will enjoy one. So it's a difficult situation now here for the Polar Bears, of course. Defensive rebounding is going to be of great value for them the rest of the night. They've been burned a couple of possessions back. An offensive rebound turned into some second chance points. Got to play pretty clean these last 6 minutes.
And they give it away. Right on cue, Elijah McCree adds on to the pile.
Yeah, rewarded. He had the fast hands, the activity, getting down the floor. Nice feed up top, too, for the easy layup.
Look at that defense, too. Giving the ball handler no space at all. Baker attacks Damian King in a scrappy possession. They say will be a jump ball, so Westerville North will take over.
Yeah, waste of possession there by Jackson, and obviously each passing second, they become even more of value to you. So really credit the Warriors. Doing a nice job here. Very effective in this fourth quarter. That's why they've got a 5-2 advantage so far.
Now they're facing a press of their own.
Yeah, and I think that is an offensive foul. Looked like Baker gets to the spot. He sells it really well. He knows that Ty is trying to cut back to the basketball. 3 counts already on. And that's going to be the third total now here against North. So to my point about a minute ago, I think it's the best type of situation, of course, if you're the Polar Bears. Just keep going at them. See if you can't pick up a couple more, and then no time coming off the clock. If you can bury some free throws, certainly can make things very interesting.
And according to what they've been playing with earlier on, that's something that they're comfortable with, is trying to work the ball inside, drawing the contact, and getting through the free throw, or getting to the free throw line. Discussion being had. And the Zebra congregation disperses. .5:32 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Be sure to stay with us after the conclusion of this ball game as we bring you the MVP interview as well as the post-game show. And we're finally ready to play basketball once again. At the top of the key, Feinfrock fakes the shot, and with the second one, he's able to convert the tray.
That's big time right there. That shot fake got all the way up on his tippy toes, sold it to the maximum degree, and then able to bury it. He's got 9 points now, but how about matching it the other way? Ty Perkins wastes no time.
Ty Perkins with the big three to get it right back.
And the immediate response, that's a big gut punch right there for Jackson. You feel like, okay, we just hit the three, our best playmaker getting back into the score sheet. 4 seconds later, their best playmaker, you could argue, knocks down the three and just, bets it right the other way at the other side, Bryce. So tough stretch right here for the Polar Bears in terms of over these next couple of minutes. Love to trickle that lead down and try to go into the final three and have it 7 or even more favorable for you. So this is going to be a big stretch for both teams, either trying to burn the bridge, getting them back to victory, or if you're the Polar Bears, working your way back into a position where you can strike in the end.
I think if Feinfrock can reliably get the ball in his hands and get those threes down, we may have a different ball game. But for Ty Perkins, I think a really good reaction. Definitely really frustrated by that offensive foul call that he faced, but responding nicely, coming back to the other end of the floor and knocking down the three.
And they're switching things up just a little bit here. Elijah McCree is locked in on Feinfrock. It's been Ty Perkins' responsibility more often than not tonight. We'll see if they get a switch after the full court pressure.
Facing the trap, not enough time to set it up. Now going man-to-man against Medhane.
And that may look like a bit of a wild shot that time for Mondo Rubio, but he understands he's got a 6'7" kid on the backside. He drew 2 defenders over there. I like the opportunity to put it up and see if you can't make something happen. That's the 4th foul. No more to give here for the Warriors the rest of the way.
They'll look to make it 10 points, and the other end, they'll look to get it back with the stop. 1/2 of the free throws are successful. There's the second.
Yeah, nice stroke for the big fella. Now you got to get it done at this end. My good friend Joe Baylog, Hall of Famer, he likes to say we'll try to look at it in a 3-possession stretch. If you can get a stop, score, stop, baby, let's try to do it one more time. But get the good juices and the juju flowing by making sure that you're getting it done. And that's just, what do you do about that? The look off, the pass on target, King, gorgeous setup.
Even from up here, I didn't think that was going to be the guy he was going to pass to, but the even better pass available to him. Feinfrock guarded closely. Down low, a no-look shot. It seemed like the skyhook works to plan.
And that's why you put up those hours doing mic and drill in your driveway when no one's paying attention. Shots like that, sometimes from our vantage point, you'll be like, whoa, had his eyes closed, throwing up a prayer right there, and then somehow grabbing that Hail Mary. But, players, they practice a million different shots throughout their career, and that was just a nice make. A much needed one, too, by Baker. Just about every possession down the stretch here, you're going to have to bat at least 80%, I think, if you're Massillon Jackson, to give yourself a legitimate shot when the final seconds are coming off the clock here in regulation.
And I think on shots like that, I mean, that's been kind of the evolution of basketball that sort of Kyrie Irving introduced, is you don't necessarily have to hit the backboard on the right spot every time. It's the spin and the touch that you can push on it. And I think that's something that's translated really well to the high school level, like you were saying, the driveway kind of opportunities. Put it up against the backboard, utilizing that spin, and I think that kind of translated there as well.
And I think with the AAU circuits and the way the basketball's kind of developed too, Bryce, that there's just more of an opportunity for the personalized game and to be able to have, for lack of a better term, that NBA style where you're kind of comfortable going one-on-one and you've got a few extra goodies in your bag when you take it one-on-one with a defender down the lane.
So coming back onto the floor, there's 4:03 remaining here in the fourth quarter, 52-42, Westerville North leading the way. Micah Young will take it up the floor as we cross the halfway mark in the fourth quarter. Medhane on the skip pass. Looked like a good shot opportunity, but they're just going to move the ball around, take a little bit of time off the clock.
Yeah, just allowing that hourglass to evaporate ever so slightly here. 20 more seconds almost coming off of the clock here for Westerville North, so that's a veteran move. Had a couple of decent looks that they could have pulled up, and coach probably not going to be angry about either of them, but understanding that the clock right now has the biggest value for you.
That time called on the reach-in foul, but I think that's kind of going to be the message is we have some fouls to give as we get later and later into the game. It doesn't look like we're going to have a lead going into the later minutes, so get really aggressive with the hands. Try to come up with the steal or a stop, and if you get called for the foul, it's not necessarily the end of the world.
Yeah, you can gamble right now if you're the Polar Bears, and you almost have to try to create some extra possessions for yourself because Westerville North, great with the basketball. They've got 7 total turnovers, only 3 of them here in the second half.
Micah Young looking for a receiver.
Wow.
King in a perfect position on the right block.
That's the second time here over the last 2 minutes. Damian King he's been the recipient of an unbelievable setup by one of his teammates.
And fine Frock. If they want to have a shot at this one, that's probably how they're going to have to get it. That one kicked straight into the rafters.
Yeah, almost looked like a punt right there, but just nice balance that time. You can tell he's a sharp shooter. He's worked on it. And when he's gotten some windows to get through, as you see that boot all the way to the ceiling again, he's been pretty dynamic.
And they call a foul on Feinfrock. So he has a word with the referee. He's not happy about that one. Third team foul for the Polar Bears.
That's huge. Monterrubio just creating that all on his own right there. The awareness to jump from inbounds and then spike it off of a super fast player's leg. This is extra life right now if you can get some points if you're the Polar Bears.
Feinfrock looking to heat up. 3 ball way short. Thiel is fouled. Going to go to the line for 2. 5th team foul for Westerville North. Every foul after that, Polar Bears are going to the line for 2.
He made both his last trip. And I think he's actually perfect on the night when he's been at the free throw line. So even though you look, you normally wouldn't want your big 6'7" center at the free throw line, but this kid, he's been on top of things.
So that cuts the lead to 8. Jacob Medhane getting the defensive rebound, but a good job of getting into that possession. The Polar Bears will take over after the jump ball.
Yeah, let's see where they work this. They've got Feinfrock lobbing it in. He'll come off of a double and pop out. Excellent job from Micah Young to show, not allow him to get a touch on the basketball as Weekly launches, and okay. Now we've got it. Down to 5, Bryce, 2.5 minutes left. We got a ball game, and Jackson again riding the momentum. Another possession in their favor.
That one just a huge mental mistake. There was nobody there, and they threw it out of bounds. So after the turnover, an opportunity to cut this down to a 1-possession game.
Similar look here on the near side, just one down screen. And a reach in, jump ball.
Jump balls. So that spares them from the free throws, and it actually gives possession back to the Warriors.
And we've got the benefit of the slow-mo. Both referees instantaneously called jump ball, but it certainly looked, having the chance to see it again, like that was on the arm and should be free throws right now.
Ty Perkins is fouled from behind, 2:25 remaining here in the fourth quarter. That's the fourth team foul. One more, it's going to send him to the line for 2.
And last foul to give as well if you're the Polar Bears. So if you want to try to turn this into a free throw shooting contest, you can start it immediately.
So taking the ball up the floor, he splits the defenders, makes the extra pass to Cornett. Cornett is whacked, and he'll go to the line for 2, and that puts him in the bonus.
Tony, huge first half, 8 points for him. None so far yet here over these last couple of quarters, so this is a really wise foul if you're the Polar Bears. Hasn't shot it much here in the second half. Try to have him earn it at the charity stripe.
And a good decision as he misses the first, so they'll at least get 50% off that one. And he misses the second. Defensive rebound, so the foul paying off for him.
Oh,
Weekly
nice.
with room. Feinfrock wants a 3.
If you're Jackson, you don't have to be rushed here with 2 minutes. Now that you've got it trimmed down to 5. Great look.
Monterrubio off the front iron. Now Micah Young flying up the floor. They say that one scraped from behind.
Yeah, Faddick on the backside. My presumption is he was trying to toss it up over the top there. Just never had the opportunity.
So setting up in a box formation for the out-of-bounds play. They easily get it into Cornett. Micah Young trying to get away. Polar Bears want the foul called so they can send him to the free throw line, but they get the ball back all the same. Feinfrock from way beyond the arc.
Stripes it from the NCAA logo. 1 possession game. And Cornett's probably the kid that I'm trying to put on the free throw line if you can make it happen. Tyson Perkins might be my backup option though too.
And they do foul him, so he'll go to the line for 2.
And for any of our NFL fans out there wondering, Philadelphia pulling out a 28-22 win. So they will move on and face the Commanders for the 3rd time this season for a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Commanders' huge surprise victory last night. My poor Lions. I mean, it's probably the most Lion things that could possibly happen, so.
Yeah, you guys you're not a franchise built to have expectations. Browns fans, we've come to understand this as well, Bryce.
Tough season. I loved your posts all season long, your frustration through that.
It's always a grind, mental gymnastics anytime you're a fan.
Feinfrock facing tough competition from Perkins, but they do get it across center court. 1:05 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Feinfrock had a step on the back door. Would have loved to have seen Till try to attempt that pass.
I have no idea how that's not a travel, but. And it's much to the dismay of these fans, as you can hear. They end up calling the foul on Westerville North, so he's going to the line for 2.
Yeah, it is certainly a foul here that's putting him on the line, on the reach in. We'll play that replay for you guys one more time. Referee, he's got a pretty good look at it, Bryce. I think you could have maybe called a travel. However, the defense, they swipe it out of his hands too, so.
Yeah. So now 2 points between the two teams, and they do foul to send Tyson Perkins to the line. That one close. I think kind of for me, the question was, before the ball actually touched the ground, 1, did he have possession? And 2, where was the established pivot foot? So that one close, and I'm sure at home you could hear very frustrating to the home crowd as well.
Yeah, life goes on though. You had to have that in your rearview mirror already. And an opening now. Still going to be just a 1 possession game. If miss or make, assuming that you can get that defensive rebound if you're the Polar Bears.
Things looking pretty good for Westerville North, but they do lose. I'm sure they'd feel like at least a little bit they lost to themselves. The shot's just not falling for them. A timeout called by Jackson.
And we got a football score going here in money time, 21-14 in this fourth quarter. And a lot of guts, I think, showcased here for just the comeback that's been able to be delivered for Jackson. They've had to erupt with some big shots, Bryce. They've knocked down free throws, and they've frustrated North just enough at the other end of the floor, getting more aggressive than they've been throughout the course of the night with their hand-to-hand activity out there on the perimeter. So a lot of kudos to them, but you're absolutely right. For these Warriors, I think they led by as many as a dozen. It was at least 11 at one point. You'd feel like you let one go here in the fourth quarter if you don't walk out of here victorious with your 11th consecutive victory.
I think you're absolutely right about money time. It's where the big players step up, the big teams as well, where it really makes a difference. And I think at this level, too, highest level, also makes a difference in that NIL money a little bit as well.
Yeah, unquestionably. If you're trying to really show to a recruiter that you have what it takes to play at the next level, the final 8 minutes of the game is when, and especially in a situation like this where the game is tight, that's when the biggest stars tend to shine the brightest.
We have a close one here at Alumni Hall of Ohio Dominican. 57-54. Jackson gets stripped from behind, and he's fouled. So now another opportunity to make this a two-possession game.
How about Tyson Perkins? I mean, that was like a good old-fashioned game of like hide-and-go-seek. You didn't know he was even coming, and all of a sudden he just comes bounding out, gets a piece of the basketball, and no man's land a little bit there for Landon Till. You could tell the junior wanted to be able to get it into the hands of a guard. Nobody available. He did what he had to do to avoid the 10-second count. And a chance for the senior to try to make it real tough here for Jackson to come back.
It was a good spark through the fourth quarter for Jackson to make a comeback. But will it be enough?
Clutch free throws right there from Ty Perkins. That's why Akron's on top of him. Showcasing some nice poise. Got to get some quick points. Weakling in transition.
A lot of contact, discussion between the referees about what's going to be called.
Should just be Ty Perkins, simple 2 points at the free throw line or a chance for it. Yeah, just two guys going after the basketball.
Competitive play.
Wasn't a bad looking the last possession too for Jackson. Don't mind that shot from Cameron Weekly. He's a senior. He's hit some big shots here tonight. But now you got your work cut out for you. This is the big one, can make it a three-possession game.
And rims out on the free throw. So 4 points, 30 seconds on the clock. Just trying to find someone to actually shoot the ball, but they call a foul, and it'll send him to the line for two.
You don't love it, but it's also not the worst thing, Bryce, to only allow them to score 2 points. It will maintain your two-possession lead no matter what. What you don't like, though, is that Ty Perkins, with his fifth foul, is now lost for the rest of the evening.
A tough loss for the Warriors, such an offensive spark. And with that, we inch a little bit closer.
Feinfrock's come up big here in the second half. He was missing at times in the first. Now he's got it back down to a 4-point game. And only a second coming off the clock. With Perkins heading to the free throw line, you got to hope here on Sunday that you can put some prayer power to use and maybe get a miss or two. And then the door's still very wide open here for Jackson.
Westerville North hasn't necessarily been stellar from the free throw line tonight, so perhaps a little bit of hope for them. And no dice on the first. But the second one is good. Facing the press, they're really going to have to burn a lot of time just to get it across midcourt.
Yeah, 7 seconds already lost. Got to get a shot up relatively quickly.
And throws it out of bounds. So that could be the nail in the coffin. They'll likely look to foul one more time, but it's an opportunity to make it a 3-possession game.
Yeah, really lost possession right there. Weakly off the kick out. Monterrubio didn't even put up a hand to try to catch it.
Micah Young is fouled and will go to the free throw line for 2. Exactly 10 seconds on the clock. A 5-point lead, but an opportunity to make it 7.
Micah can all but kind of lower down the curtain and close out the show with a couple makes.
They're a little far away, but I don't see Reggie Miller over on the bench of Jackson, so.
It's been a long time since Reggie's been able to pull off that kind of game, too. I'm not sure that a 60-year-old Reggie's still capable, but he'd tell you otherwise.
Micah Young misses the second. Feinfrock tries a tough 3. Scramble for the ball, and time expires. So after 4 quarters of play, a tough one, but Westerville North picking up the victory 61-56 over the Massillon Jackson Polar Bears. Stay with us for the MVP interview in the postgame show coming up next.
Coach B.
Hey, Travis, what's up?
Oh, not much. What's that sound?
Just working on some long overdue improvements here.
Whoa.
Fit for a Hall of Famer. Hi, I'm Joe Baylog. Tune into the Joe Show every Wednesday night here on the OH Report.
First Federal Community Bank is excited to offer the Ohio Homebuyers Plus program, and it's meant to offer an above-market interest rate to help the potential home buyer in their journey towards home ownership.
We've got great rates, especially for first-time home buyers. Here at First Federal Community Bank, we are here to make the home buying experience smooth and stress-free.
As a community bank, we're excited to offer this account to help fulfill the dream of owning a home. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the Mid-Ohio job market, and we're locally owned. So you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at midohiojobs.net or call 419-747-7479.
You just enjoyed live and free boys high school basketball, taking you into your Sunday evening. Thanks to our good friends at BS Media Productions and the OH Report. If you run a business or know somebody that would like to support our coverage of Westerville North boys basketball this season, please get in contact with our sales department. Hit up Brian Skowronski, Brian at oh.report to get some information today. Tyson Perkins will be our game MVP this afternoon. Stick around, we'll have a conversation with the Warriors sophomore. Plus, Bryce and I will close things out, final stats, and get you ready for your Sunday night. Keep it here. Live and free coverage returns in just a moment.
Time to go hard and put your game face on. Ruthless. Now we're here blowing up. If you never risk it, then you never know. If it's holding you back, you gotta let it go. You gotta give it all you got, you gotta let them know. You are on another level, you are ruthless. Switch it up, it's the new flex. Ruthless, ruthless. If you never risk it, then you never know. If it's holding you back, you gotta let it go. Yeah, the first step is showing up. Now we're here blowing up. If you never risk it, then you never know. If it's holding you back, you gotta let it go. You gotta give it all you got, you gotta let them know. You are on another level, you are ruthless. Switch it up, it's the new flex. Ruthless, ruthless. If you never risk it, then you never know. If it's holding you back, you gotta let it go. Yeah, the first step is showing up, now we're here. Yeah, the first step is showing up, hear them cheer. Yeah, the first step is showing up, now we're here. We're blowing up, hear them cheer. If you never risk it, then you never know. If it's holding you back, you gotta let it go. You gotta give it all you got, you gotta let them know. You are on another level, you are ruthless. Switch it up, it's the new flex. Ruthless, ruthless. If you never risk it, then you never know. Ruthless, ruthless. Give it all you got, you gotta let them know. You are on another level, you are ruthless. Switch it up, it's the new flex. Ruthless, ruthless.
We return now with our player of the game for the OH Report today in a victory. Tyson Perkins, a sophomore. Nice second half for you, but let's just start with the victory and this role that you guys have been on 11 in a row and just how much fun it's been to continue to, learn from victory week after week.
Yes, sir. It feels good. We just keep grinding, getting better every day, so we're just going to keep working hard every day to try to make a playoff run, get to the states.
You guys have certainly tested yourself in your non-conference. You've played a lot of quality teams from around the state. Getting looks like this against a team like Massillon Jackson, how much value do you feel like you take away from this?
I feel like in this game it's a big court, so we couldn't really trap a lot, but it just made us adjust more on the court, just run regular man. So I think that is good for us because we're going to see more teams like that in the playoffs.
Defensively, you guys are so suffocating, and it's just man-to-man defense, and you just don't allow any wiggle room on the perimeter. In practice time, how much time are you guys really engaging and working after that? And ultimately, how much do you really thrive off of defense and kind of enjoy it?
Man, probably like the whole practice. Like that's our main priority, just defense. So that's what we do.
obviously you got a couple of older brothers, super competitive guys. Well, what's it like at the house if you're playing just like a board game or just anything, trying to get to the dinner table first? Would you say that it's just a super competitive environment at your crib?
Yeah, always been competitive our whole life.
What are some activities outside of basketball that you guys kind of all do together? Is there anything that you're the best at that you'd like to play against them?
Football.
Oh, okay.
Football.
Nice. Yeah. That's a good upper hand always.
You said not sports?
Sports are fine, but yeah, non-sports. What do you guys get into?
Sports. I don't know. We don't really do too much. We just in the gym a lot.
It shows, man. You guys are definitely some gym junkies, and that's why you're off to this awesome start right now. And I think we all kind of seen this coming, building up over the last couple of years. And just being one of the younger guys on the team, having some veterans that have been around, what does that veteran leadership mean in terms of just the continuity of the team so far this season?
I watch my big brothers. They lead the team, so I'm just watching them. So in a few years, I'm going to have to lead the team. So it just like making me more of a leader.
Well, definitely guys are off to a great start. It's been a lot of fun to watch you. Last thing to do before we turn you loose and you get to enjoy your Sunday.
Yes,
look in the camera. Just shout out anybody you want.
Shout out God, because he's the only one that can really like help us, and he's there for us every day. So keep him in your life. And then shout out to my brothers. My older brother going to Akron, my other brother Mike is going to Concord. So I hope they do great in college.
Yeah, got to shout out the old holy man upstairs on a Sunday, and then the brothers, always a good look as well. Tyson Perkins, thanks so much for the time, buddy.
Thank you.
Money's not going to gamble itself.
We are back post-game coverage here at Ohio Dominican University. Brian Skowronski alongside the Bryce Coder. And fun game, man. Came down to the wire. Polar Bears put a lot of pressure on them at the end, but Westerville North, it's just been their season so far, the #1 team in Division II, and eventually just kind of catches up to you how much they wear on you on the defensive end of sides.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I think this is probably good for Westerville North as well. They're so used to just trouncing teams. They need a little bit of a challenge and see what's not necessarily working right against these better teams. And I think they got a really good look at that, responded nicely. There was a bit of a lid on the rim in the first half, but they alleviated that, were really aggressive in attacking the basket, forcing those free throws.
Take a look at the final stats of the evening, and the big number that'll jump up at you, Bryce, the 24 turnovers for the Polar Bears. Most of those are forced. It wasn't like they were just making dumb mental errors. It's just that the Warriors, they attack very aggressively, and Tyson kind of detailed it for us. They love it. They like playing defense even more so than offense, and it certainly shows.
And as an offensive player, I mean, you're so used to having someone on your grill at all times. Suddenly, when you don't, you panic a little bit. You don't know what to do, and I think that certainly was the case tonight, where even when they did get a little bit of space, not necessarily the best decisions on the passing lanes or putting the ball on the floor, and it really made the difference tonight.
Super balanced scoring for Westerville North. Cornett led the way in the first half, didn't have any points in the second. Perkins, the leading man in the second half with the 8 points, 10 total. And then Ty Perkins fouling out, but he also was in double figures. And then Feinfrock, we are looking for him to have a big-time performance. He certainly did. 13 points of his 16 in the second half, Bryce. And ultimately what he was able to do scoring-wise in that fourth quarter, it helped them kind of eliminate that gap and that deficit and get back into the game and make it a fun one to watch down the stretch.
I think so, and I think for Westerville North as well, a really good job of getting exactly what the doctor ordered in different situations. I mean, Monterrubio having 8 points in the first half. They responded really nicely in the second half, completely shutting him off, dedicating a lot of resources for him, and asking a different question of this Jackson offense, making them shoot the ball from beyond the arc, and it started working out for them. But just as they did that, the guards get back into the game. They start guarding on the perimeter, makes it tough.
See the 23 points in the fourth quarter for Jackson, getting them back into the game, the most of any quarter for either team. And now moving forward, an 11-game win streak for North, and a huge one next on their calendar.
A big one against Hayes, against Landon Vanderwerker for the past 3 consecutive seasons. Delaware Hayes has had the McDonald's All-American nominee. That doesn't change at all. In previous episodes on the OH Report, we've seen Vanderwerker score 34, 32 points, so explosive. Used to be a really big man forward, but has spread his game out quite a bit. And that size is really going to be a big question against Westerville North. They don't necessarily have the guys that can really size up against 6'8", 6'9" that we see on Hayes. We'll see how they respond to that.
And for Jackson, it's going to be more of a bounce-back type of session for them, as they're now 2-2 over their last 4 games. But I think they showed a lot of promise here tonight, and you can take a lot from a loss against a team like Westerville North, who's able to just get on you like white on rice at the defensive end.
And it will be probably a bounce back for them. They defeated this team previously pretty handily, and they're going to be looking for anything to get them going into the late season. Not necessarily the best game they wanted to drop. They feel like this would have been a huge emphasis or moral victory for them if they were able to pick it up, but fortunately making that long drive back empty-handed.
Fun game, though, here nevertheless, as we appreciate each of you out there watching live and free on this Sunday afternoon. But it's Westerville North continuing to streak with 11 straight victories. Shout out to everybody back at OH Report World Headquarters bringing this together. Adam Thompson makes all of our cool graphics. Jory Hollenbeck, the commercials. And then Travis, I'm sure, contributed in some form or fashion. And for Bryce Coder, I'm Brian Skowronski. Glad that we could get on a call together this season, Bryce. It's been quite a while and had a great time today.
Absolutely. Great call with you. Great basketball as well. Always love watching Westerville North. Such a great, flashy team.
That will wrap up our coverage, though, here from Ohio Dominican. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. We'll see you back. More live streams tomorrow on Martin Luther King Day, including the return of the OH Report podcast, breaking down everything Buckeyes. But for now, for today, we're out of here.